All right. If you are new here, grab your remote, get your thumb on that play button, but don't press it yet. We're going to all press at the same time. On the count of 3, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Mentions my absolute favorite band really soon here in the first part of the show. I'm very excited about.
I honestly think I have this whole episode memorized.
So this is a big fan favorite, this episode.
My absolute favorite, John.
It's a good one.
Look at that jacket.
I know, snazzy.
Take note, Diane.
That's the shirt that she's wearing, the dragonfly. She's worn that several.
That jacket makes her look like a referee.
I have a love-hate relationship with this episode.
Same.
Same.
By the way, really quickly, you all might have been doing that math there with those percentages and been like, that's only 75%. Where does the other 25% go? That doesn't go to me. I'm going to burn it. So it's going to be gone from the system completely. Another way for me to get some currency out of the system.
It's illegal to burn money, John.
Not in John's world.
Not kernels.
I didn't realize that.
Kernels smell really good when you roast them, you know?
I think
Like
it's a
popcorn?
treasury.
Any excuse for Lorelai to get shoes or boots.
Yeah, I love how she can find something to buy even in a catalog like that.
Are we saying that that outfit, we've seen that outfit before?
Just the t-shirt.
T-shirt. And of course, you can find something in any catalog. She's Lorelai.
Liz is in Cop Rock. Liz was in ER.
Listen to him, Lorelai.
I remember the first time I saw this episode, I was super blown away. I think they also really hyped up the 100th episode component as well in the advertising.
Definitely, I remember that.
But hey, we didn't get a casino party, so, you know, who cares?
We got couch slots though.
Yeah.
Woohoo! Yeah, we did.
Only took
Happy
almost 20 years
birthday,
later.
Rachel.
Thank you.
Happy birthday to you, Rachel. Rachel, happy birthday, Rachel.
Where you lead?
You practiced that all day.
That
didn't you?
was amazing. Thank you. That's what they
Love
do in
you,
Chile.
John.
So now we
Listen,
know how
listen.
you snag.
They're gonna say my favorite band. I'm
Your
very excited.
singing and your dance move.
Super furry animals?
Not that one. You gotta guess which one.
That's salt and pepper.
Arcade Fire?
Yeah, it's my
Arcade
favorite
Fire.
band ever. Best band ever. And it's not the Arcade Fire, it's just Arcade.
I wondered that when she said that.
She mentions my husband's namesake in a minute.
I remember Arcade Fire was really big at the time when the show was on the air. And that first Arcade Fire album was really, really, really big. Because I remember Todd and I talking about it on.
I've seen them multiple times. They're very, very good live. Best band live ever.
Remastered Brian Eno. My husband was named after Brian Eno.
Cool.
Oh, tater tots. Tater tots. I want some tater
Now
tots.
you
It's
want
really good
tater
right now. But it's 10:22 at night here, so
I
it's
made
11:22 here, but I still want tater tot.
Do tater
I made
tots count
jalapeno
as
poppers
wink
tonight
winkers?
out of my, because I have a bunch of
That
jalapenos
is
in my garden.
by the way, that is really good costuming. His jacket is clearly wet from melted snow.
Oh, yeah.
When did we
God, that
stop?
looks so good.
a lot
All
of
of that looks
food.
so good. I would eat all of that.
Whoa.
What are they
I feel like
begging
I've heard that. I feel like I've heard that line in the Gilmore Girls fan.
Probably.
You probably
Yep,
have.
it's one of the best Emily lines.
La 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 la.
Yeah, look at his hat. It's wet.
These are my second favorite Lala.
That seems very dangerous.
I know, that made me nervous. She didn't even flinch.
Oh, it's like you forgot how to speak.
I was totally trying to do that with Sabrina when I was wishing for her.
I got that from everybody. That was so funny. I noticed.
I didn't
I'm
notice.
just like so embarrassed for him though. He's like fumbling.
I didn't
with
do
her,
it
so
right,
sad.
Sabrina.
Yes,
Sorry, I just said
fishes.
congratulations.
It's okay.
Andrew, it is hard to see him be such a bumbling fool.
To be
Man.
honest, I find that patriarchal, like the best wishes versus congratulations, but I'll accept it because of Emily Gilmore.
The helmet that Emily is wearing right now. Lorelei's hair. How are we feeling about that?
I like it.
I love her hair in this episode.
I do too. I'm kind of digging the big hair.
Let's appreciate that they planned an entire wedding in like a week.
It's kind of a bummer that like we go from being so excited about Richard and Emily getting back together, and then just immediately Emily becomes a bridezilla.
Yup.
Just nasty, you know, just constantly saying, you know, just
Told
super
you.
entitled, all these
Forgive
things. Like,
her.
Stig part.
Oh, but she has an ulterior motive.
oh, hey, there is some gambling in this episode.
Yep.
Maybe that's why they had the gambling event.
It's no
Maybe.
couch spots though.
I kind of feel bad for Emily right now.
Yeah, he thinks that she went for a bachelorette party and she didn't have one.
He's playing drunk so well, the way he's speaking.
What's wrong with tattoos? that scar.
Suki is a really good friend for doing that.
She plays exhausted like beautifully.
This is such a gypsy heavy thing. I love.
I love Gypsy. She's my spirit animal. Like truly.
That's why you are Gypsy.
Yes, I know.
Rose is so funny in real life.
Emily has no idea who Gypsy is, but she's very happy.
Right? And seeing Emily with a solo cup is a little off-putting.
Rum and cokes are yummy.
Oh, Suzanne is in this episode. That's right.
This is great.
It's like a 3-year-old, but why?
I love that scene.
Me too. It's one of my favorites.
I loved Absolutely Fabulous.
I used to watch that too when I was young.
Kelly plays drunk really well too.
Kelly Bishop does good drunk. I like her drunk. Remember, I feel like every actor has their own drunk DNA.
I
It's
love the
very
way she
true.
pours so much rum in and she makes
And,
that
and like a
face. It's
splash of coke.
I love that she's saying that others were selfish, but yet she's not being selfish.
Never.
Of course not.
So did anybody catch the Sheldrake reference that Kelly
Dirty
just made?
dancing.
Yep.
Oh my god, I never realized that before ever. Wow.
Lane didn't want to explain the pasta.
I'm amazed Mrs.
Self-
Kim let her go out though.
Well, she's not living at home at least. Oh, the other one. Yeah,
Kion.
yeah.
I mean, Kion,
Yeah,
yeah.
you're right. You're right. You're right.
What was with that incest joke?
Uh-oh.
Well, her grandparents.
Yeah.
Did you see who's in that seating chart, John?
No, in which scene? This in the seating chart?
Yeah. Did you see?
I
Yep.
mean, briefly, I saw like Logan and
Yep, that's what you were supposed to see.
Where was
Oh, okay,
the
yeah.
enthusiasm, John?
yeah, because I'm really enthusiastic about Logan.
You also saw Mitchum too.
So we're gonna see Mitchum today for the first time. Yes.
There's some enthusiasm.
Notice how sensitive Rory got there? That's
It-
telling.
It's a theme. I mean, that's a like sort of recurring theme for Rory, where she really gets like super defensive of the guy that she has a crush on. Like, I feel like she did almost the exact same thing with Jess.
Of course she did.
And Dean the second time.
Yep, and Dave the second time. That's right. I mean, I think it says something about how she feels about her mother's judgment, like the judgmental quality of Lorelai, which she engages in a lot with her. But I think that there's a line that she draws sometimes where she's sort of fed up with it. Luke looks quite dashing.
Yes, he does.
Jinx. Yes, he does.
I wish they would have told him that he didn't have to get dressed yet.
That was a great bit.
You got it, sugar.
This stuff just stresses me out, just seeing this, just prep before.
Did you have a bit of a stressful time before your wedding, John?
Well, we got married in Germany, so there was a lot of complicated things to figure out, including folks flying in and all that.
Yeah, so it's just bringing it all back.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The garment bag really feels like the symbol of the day.
The special hell.
We talk about the Dirty Dancing reference there.
Yeah.
Never noticed that before. So cool. Poor Luke.
Poor Luke Monster.
Oh my gosh, that's horrible.
Hate her.
Berate him, berate him, berate him.
How can they even see his trousers?
Yes!
He's got such a long coat on.
Yes, she's back.
Your buddy Marilyn.
Yep. Marilyn's back.
People playing multiple roles.
It's very in to have an affair with a gardener.
I wonder if that was a Desperate Housewives. That's
I
what
think it
that
was.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
was always.
I love that we got to see Marion Ross play two parts because this part is so different than the other part, and it's so fun to see her play this part too.
I love the focus Lorelai. I am a camera moment.
One of my
I love
favorite
that.
lines ever.
Luke looks great, but he does look like a private eye.
Oh, he plays a cop or something in the Saw movie.
I love Rory's hair.
so pretty.
I always thought the Thora Birch line was kind of mean.
I made that joke on my wedding day.
The second all?
Yeah.
Or that you wanted the inappropriate shaped cup?
The second all, to my maid of honor, who's also a huge Gilmore Girls fan.
Can you hear it, John? Can you hear?
I love Rory in that suit.
Yes, absolutely.
I love that look.
And I love her hair down like that. too.
Yes, I love her hair here.
She looks awesome.
The same place that they had the debutante ball and
And the
Rory's
school
their
dance.
Chilton party.
I feel like something else was there too.
Boy, that doesn't look like a 20-piece orchestra to me.
That's just the ceremony, not the reception. They'll be at the receptions playing that song.
The way they smile at each other, I love.
I don't like
Me
the
too.
shiny thing that Lorelai wears over the.
Oh, I like it.
I don't really like that dress.
Same.
Oh man, he really likes her.
He really loves her.
Hey, hey.
Phillips, like
it's
next
Logan.
to Logan over there.
That look that Richard gives her, just heart melting.
Yep, just beautiful. And Emily looks beautiful too. The tears in his eyes, like, oh, so good.
Why is she still holding the bouquet?
Those looks from
Yeah.
Logan Lorelai, so beautiful.
And trouble.
Oh no.
Ugh, why? No.
Too bad Regina's not on the couch.
We can all hear her.
Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, that's interesting. I never
Yeah,
noticed the
interesting
reference.
reference given that that's coming up in a couple episodes.
Yeah.
She's like the elite version of Crazy Karen.
Does anyone else use this trick?
Yes, I was just gonna say I've used
Absolutely,
it.
it's brilliant.
Sabrina, did you have one of these guys at your wedding?
One,
The one coming up here?
one of the what?
The one that Rory hides behind?
Oh, no.
The one who explains the family line.
No, it was mostly friends actually, but yeah.
You're lucky
No
I
one.
didn't crash.
Yeah, Sherry, you could have been explaining family lineage.
I could
I
have.
love her confused look the second time she looks.
Yeah, the way she tilts her head, she comes out, tilts it, and then tilts it in the other direction, like show kind of like, huh? And that was a funny little bit.
Works perfectly.
Not the way that you hold that glass.
Maybe he's never held a tanker before.
I haven't, so how are you supposed to hold it?
You hold it around the base. Your hand goes through that
Through
little.
the handle. Maybe his
Through-
hand is too big for it.
Oh.
Maybe so, but yeah, a German will tell you.
Well, don't tell my ancestors.
Yeah, that would really be bad. Like doing it right there and then.
Luke looks a little annoyed.
Oi. There's some conflict if I ever saw. When did she tell him about the tequila?
Right
Just
now.
now.
Oh,
Yeah, like 5 seconds ago.
Yeah, he said
When
that
you were
he
looking at how he holds his beer.
Right.
Yeah. He said his father died and she went over there and I didn't want you to be blindsided. He said, yeah, that would be.
Right. Here's why I need y'all to help me when I'm paying attention to little beer glass details.
The song that they play, we played it at my wedding, but I think we missed it because we were taking pictures.
Ah. He's starting to steam.
I love this scene so much.
I'm with Lorelai on that.
Me too.
I had a kid that had chronic ear infections and it's miserable.
I had a colicky baby. That was bad.
My first
This is
husband's
the
name
part
was
of the
Bill.
scene that I love.
Anytime we get to see them dance is amazing.
Well, she was a professional dancer.
I mean, he's not too shabby either.
No, not at all.
This has been one of my favorite songs ever since I saw this.
Same.
I don't know. I just picture my father singing it in the car.
I just can't believe I didn't use this song at my first wedding because my husband was Bill.
Jealousy's not a good look on Chris or Rory.
But like,
Yeah.
she put him in the table right next to them. Like, come on.
Jealousy is not a good look for either of them, but whiskey is a dangerous addition to that.
I don't know if it's so much jealousy for Rory. I think it's just kind of heartbroken.
No, I
rejection.
think she's definitely jealous.
Yeah, I think she's jealous too.
He's probably a little.
There's a
jealous
little
of
bit
that.
of jealousy there, but she wants him.
And
She
you
wants to
could
be
see the
his-
steam coming out of Luke's ear.
I'm with you though, Rachel. I think she's mostly just bummed.
Mm-hmm.
And confused because he didn't have to go to this, but he did. So it's kind of confusing.
Who, Luke, didn't have to go? Oh,
No,
Logan.
Logan. Like he shows up at a thing like this with his parents. Like that's kind of weird for a 20-something-year-old.
Have we met Mitchum yet? We haven't met Mitchum
No.
yet, have we?
Nope.
No.
I mean, the suspense is killing me.
No Mitchum or Sherry yet.
What is going on back there? That is so funny.
Painting. The people who own it, the women who own the building, they wouldn't give up the room.
Paint
I mean,
night.
that's just so brilliant. That writing is amazing.
One of my all-time favorite movies as a kid.
I kind of wish Rory's hair would have remained down.
Me too.
I did that in high school in the cafeteria.
How'd it
Because
work
I
out?
Good for you.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it worked out for a little while.
I was gonna say that wouldn't fly anymore.
Well, it was someone who liked me, so
I mean, it's definitely not something Christopher could do.
No.
Oh, he's a weak man, remember?
I'm really concerned now that I built my entire personality based on Lorelai Gilmore.
This guy.
You're
has
not
2
alone.
kids. This guy has 2 kids, and yet the best day of his life was when he got kissed.
Yeah, I thought the same, Mary.
Yeah, when he was a teen.
Yep. Yeah, don't like it.
But that tracks for Christopher.
Very true.
Everybody else around them is like doing twirls and all kinds of stuff. They're the only ones that are just like back, forth, back, forth.
Moon River.
This was my grandparents' song, and we played this at the wedding as well.
It's my parents' song too.
My parents as well.
It's a sister. Oh no. Man, he is smooth. He's smooth.
You could smell her coming.
Anyone else know someone like Patsy? Because I do.
I
I do
do.
too.
Little old Jewish aunt.
Boy, that's pretty forward.
It's very
Which
forward.
feels like
Absolutely.
it feels like it came
Yes,
out
it
of
is.
that conversation with her dad.
Oh, for sure.
Of course it did.
Whoa. Ooh, I like this look from Logan.
Me too. Pretty
That's
upfront,
completely
isn't he?
honest like that. Oh, absolutely.
Oh, Rory.
I know he's being honest. I don't know if she's being honest with
Oh,
herself.
not at
Oh, no.
all. Not at all.
She is the commitment girl.
She's just trying something new.
Yep, she just is trying something new. But
Again, she has this no strings thing that always backs back.
I love how
Ooh.
an
Oh,
underage
wow.
person was just allowed to swipe a bottle of alcohol from the bar.
And nobody even flinched.
Exactly.
nope.
The rich and privileged.
Oh, whoa. Yes. And talk about comparing Christopher to Logan.
Yup. Now you see why I always do it.
Can I just say that this episode is friggin' awesome?
You certainly can.
Yep.
Such a good episode.
I told you, love, hate, love, hate.
Me too.
Now you see why it's a
Big time.
favorite of so many.
Oh no.
Oh,
Ooh, Luke's side eye.
Such a troublemaker.
There goes the steam again.
What's Regina's word again? I forget.
Basura.
Yes, definitely.
See, he keeps trying to bring up that they've seen each other.
Of course.
He's stoking the fire that's making the smoke come out of Luke's ear.
Marilyn.
Marilyn is trying to
And
pick
he's
up
falling
everyone.
for it. Marilyn was gonna take Logan to bed.
Yeah, I think that's what she was getting at, right?
Absolutely.
She has a Miss Patty vibe to her.
Whoa.
No.
Christopher.
This is so
Oh
stupid.
no.
Christopher, you're so annoying, please.
He has no right.
And now Luke is going after him.
Logan looks
Oh my
afraid.
god, this is so
She's
good.
an adult.
Yeah.
She's an adult.
Consent,
Yes, she
you know.
is. She can do what she
How many
wants.
dads does she have?
They're both out there fighting.
Good thing Richard didn't see.
Probably would have had him taken out back and shot.
I love his little gestures, his little drunk gestures.
Yes, Luke, speak the truth, sir.
Yeah, I
Yes.
love actress
There's a
Rep.
timeline
Luke.
error though, because if he's only known them for 8
Whoa.
years, like Rory would have had chicken pox way before 8 years.
Emily said it's not too late. It is.
Bad Christopher.
Blood is
This
boiling.
is why I don't like her.
Holy
My,
Christmas crunch.
Yep.
my blood is boiling.
I'll
He's
say
trying
you
to
for
get us
you,
all
Regina.
happy and
Basura.
excited about the episode. Everything's all nice and lovey-dovey. Boom.
And then Christopher ruins it because Emily told him to.
I love that line.
I love that line.
Kind of accurate, right?
Oh boy. Yikes. Rightfully so, though.
Whoa! Oh my goodness, that was intense. That was intense.
Whoa.
Oh my goodness, that was
Welcome to
so
the
good.
100th episode.
Oh my goodness, that was so awesome.
Was it all you expected it to be?
That was so good. That was a very, very good episode. Wow. Oh wow. Okay.
Yes.
Should we play a game of couch slots?
Sure.
Hell yes.
Can I still?
Should we just get this out of our system? Just like shake it off with some
Yeah.
couch slots.
Yes.
Couch slot.
All right, everybody. We're gonna do a
Wait,
round 2
Don.
of couch. Yep,
Can I still be involved even though I won?
of course.
Okay.
Of course. You could potentially win a full house.
Woohoo.
Is that what we call it? I don't know.
Close enough.
Something that I just realized though is that bottom row, the fourth place, you could potentially, now that I'm thinking about it and doing the math, you could potentially come out less than what you put in, depending on the number of people who play. So just because you're splitting, is that right? No. Yeah. Actually, yes. You could potentially. It's a game of chance, folks. It's a game of chance. All right. Why don't we play around, then we'll jump into discussing the episode. Everybody down to the beanbag.
So
What are
wait,
we
before we
tipping
do
in?
that, yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. What's the tip and the word?
Oh, right. Sorry. So the tip is going to be, let's do 30 this time. We're going to do 30 and we're going to be playing 4 clubs. So our round is clubs. So you want to put into the memo clubs or round clubs, or just make sure clubs is in that memo for me so that I know that this one's for it. Although I'll know because the tip will be 30 and the first one will be 10, but you got it. Put clubs in there just to make sure. All right. I'll give you guys a moment.
Right, John? So good.
It was so good. It was my goodness, that episode is just absolute fire. Yeah, we're gonna have to do like we've said we were gonna do it, but we haven't done it yet. We've got to do like an event where we just go episode by episode, where we just like a very quick, like this episode, here's the quick synopsis of what happened in the episode, just to refresh me. And then I'll just be like, loved it, or kind of faded. This one, I guarantee, will not fade. This is a powerful episode. Okay, everybody, have you gotten your bets in? Have you gotten your bets in? Are you hoping to win big? Let's get it going. We're about to open up that couch right about. I'm going to give you another 10 seconds to put in those bets. There's might be, I can hear some folks scrambling. Oh, so I'm trying to put it in. It's not taking it. All right. 3, 2, 1. Couch is open. All right. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and Regina 11. All right. This is our winners. Woo! Take a look at that. Charlie.
Yeah.
Top slot. Sarah L. Tasha second. Kendra, Delara, Stacy third, and Chrissy, Rachel, and Regina in the fourth slot. Charlie, you've also won the club's memento.
Good job, girl.
Congrats.
Oh, no.
Congrats, Charlie.
So can you refresh on the second row? Because obviously I didn't make it the first time.
Can you refresh on the what?
Like how much we get?
You're gonna, whatever the full pot is, the second row is gonna split 20% of that. Third row is gonna split 10% of that. Fourth row is gonna split 5% of that. Our two winners are gonna split 40% of that. And Charlie is additionally going to be sent a code on the little private messenger here that will allow her to unlock the club's memento. All right, I'm opening up the couch in full. Well, it's already open. We're gonna let everybody else up here, and we are gonna talk about what I think I'm going to now say is the best episode of the season. Might be the best episode that I've seen so far, or at least up there in like the top.
It's up there in the top 5.
Definitely up there in the top 5. I might even go say top 3. I'd have to be refreshed though. Again.
Oh, you love the Festival of Living Art.
Oh, right. Festival of Living Art and this episode are definitely like in the top, I'm going to say top 3.
They packed
But
so much
man,
in
oh
this
man,
episode.
that's a tough one. That's a really tough one for me. Is it Festival of Living Art or this one? The thing that I loved about this episode is how much you feel like you're at a wedding. Like they did an amazing job of really, like I haven't seen it feel quite so real, like feeling like you really are attending the event. I mean, you see weddings in television all the time, but this is probably the one that at least that I can remember, feels the most like I'm at a real wedding.
So
For me,
fantastic. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Am I in the mind?
No,
Not at all.
I agree.
No.
Definitely felt
I
like
mean,
it was.
yeah, it's a great episode. For me, my top 3 are A Tisket, A Tasket, Lorelai's Graduation Day, and one that hasn't aired yet.
So this one is not in your top 3.
It's in my top 5. It's not my top 3.
I think that this is my top. I think that this is my top 3. It might be my top 2 because the only other one that I can think of that really like comes close to me being like, oh my gosh, I love this episode is Festival of Living Art.
Wait, but John, are you talking about
Finish?
your top the whole series or just this season?
The whole series. Well, Festival of Living Art was in last season.
Oh, okay.
This
I wasn't sure
episode
because
it's
before
all
you
that
said your
feels.
favorite this season, and I just yeah.
No, No, this series, the whole series, this particular series that we call Gilmore Girls.
All
Yeah,
the feels. This episode gives you all the feels. You feel
Yeah.
very happy, then
Yeah.
you feel heartbroken, then you feel so cringe. Oh my goodness. So the feels.
That
They did
final-
an awesome job.
that end moment, that final
Yeah.
moment was just
So here's what you have
absolutely-
to realize, John. When this premiered, you know how shows do like a Christmas break, basically?
It was the
Yeah.
mid-season
This was
finale.
the episode right before, yeah, it was the mid-season finale. So we had to wait like almost a month before the next.
Wow. When I see this episode and later on episodes, I understand why always Scott is mentioning that he doesn't get why the whole show didn't get nominated for an Emmy. I get that. Yeah.
Oh, they definitely
Actually-
needed more nominations and absolutely some wins.
Yep,
Yeah,
absolutely.
They did. They did.
I
Everyone. When you see things like that, and definitely, I
Back
understand.
then,
His
nobody was looking at a
frustration.
network like this. These networks were so overlooked back then. It was like not even a real network. It was just not ready to market themselves for it because if they had, they would have gotten noticed.
It was the WB, it got nominated for things because it was like a big network because it had like Buffy and it had Angel and it had Dawson's and
Those
One Tree Hill.
Yeah, but none of those shows.
Wait,
got
nominated
They
for
were
an Emmy?
not getting
Uh-uh.
nominated.
Yeah, the Emmy
No.
looked.
Yeah, they
Emmys
were.
looked down on those shows back then.
Well, not
It got-
Emmys, but People Choice Awards and Kids Choice Awards and
Right.
Oh,
right.
yeah.
I think the Teen Choice Awards and the Emmys are like two very different things.
Very different.
Agree.
Can we Yeah.
go back?
But I will,
Well,
but it did absolutely get nominated a lot and just never, it just couldn't win any of the awards that like the big awards, the acting awards, the best show awards. And I feel like part of it was the fact, if I remember correctly, it was always in this weird space where it was competing against shows that were like, just like, it would be in like
Friends?
music. Yeah, no, it would be in like comedy and musical, when really like the award it was like vying for was an award that you would give an actor for, their work in a dramatic series. And so like, you have these actors competing with like half-hour comedy actors who, just it seemed like that was part of the reason why. But
It's so funny, John.
So, yeah, I was just gonna say, kind of like going along with that, when this show aired, I really feel like it being on the WB hurt it
Yeah.
in some ways.
I mean, that's true. That is true.
Just because I can remember, like, it was my favorite show and I was talking about with my friends, but a lot of them, some of them would be like, oh, we're not watching any of those shows, because they were, especially like in college and stuff.
Oh, that's
like
sad.
that.
The
And
WB
so I
was
feel like
kinda
it wasn't
a
until
joke.
I feel like it wasn't until it came out on Netflix and more people started seeing it for what it is.
Yeah, it's funny that we're
Same.
talking about this because it was a while ago in the post show that we talked about this as a problem. We were looking up how many Emmys WB shows won, and a lot of WB shows did not get their Emmys, or like they did, and it was just one. And Gilmore Girls was one of the shows that only got one, and it was for Festival of Living Arts.
Well, why do you think it went to the CW? I mean, like that's where I think it was like 06 or 07.
That's because the two networks merged.
Well, I
Yeah.
know that, but if you would let me finish.
Yeah, the main thing is CW, WB. I mean, it was the same thing. Those networks were just never. They had a very difficult time. What you kind of have to understand. I mean, many of you may know this, but the Emmys, the Oscars, I would imagine the Tonys, like they're all popularity contests. You're being voted on by your peers. And members of the Academy, voting members of the Academy, are actors, the ones that are voting on the actors, and they're directors that are voting on the directors, and the all of that stuff, right? And so, what they, the actors that they're voting on, or the stuff they're voting on, is largely influenced by a variety of factors, from like, what are they actually watching? Like, what, because that's a big one. It's like, if they weren't watching it, then chances are it's just not going to be on their radar. And if you think about it, right, people who are in the Academy, voting members of a prestigious guild, are they watching the WB? Are they watching the CW? Probably not. They're watching
No.
HBO. They're watching HBO. They're watching Showtime. They're watching, these like networks with like gravitas and cachet, right?
Weren't
And
they
so,
like older white men?
Yeah, it really was like
most
a
part.
specific demographic of people that were voting for those shows.
yeah, well, yeah, yes and no. I mean, like with the Academy, a lot of the voting members are typically folks who, like Marion Ross, like folks who were veterans of television. A lot of them are folks who, like in the the Film Academy. These are past Oscar winners and nominees. So I think it's just really more. I actually witnessed. I don't know if I mentioned here, but I witnessed an Academy member like putting their vote in once, where it was literally like a photocopied, like a little form piece of paper they got in the mail with just like, write in on these lines your favorite movie, like what should win this, what should win this, what should win
Oh my
this.
God.
And I remember the person was just going like, best movie. What did we watch? What did we watch to their significant other? And the other person like, well, what about this? And they were like, oh yeah, I love that movie. I love that. Yeah, I'm gonna put that one down. Like it really is that,
That's, that,
Well, and we
So-
have a friend who is an Academy voting member.
I do, yeah.
I see that stuff has been flashing for a minute.
I just wanted to make a correction that this episode aired February 8th, 2005.
Oh, okay.
So
Oh, did it?
yeah, so we didn't have to wait, we just had to wait a week for the next
Okay.
episode.
Yep.
The winter hiatus randomly was the Pushkin episode. Not a big one.
Hey, by the way, Steph, while I was watching the episode, Babsy came in from walking the dogs and handed me a little envelope that she got from the mailbox. And in it was a little card with a bunch of stickers in it.
Yeah, thank you so much.
This is so awesome. Thank you,
These
Steph.
are the
We got
original
our Team Brian.
townies.
We got our original townies. We got our Team Brian's. Gonna put those thing on our laptops.
Oh man, that's so great. Thank you.
Anyway, so where do we start? Again, I'm going to say it, like, this episode, and I don't know, maybe it's that, like, now that I have gone through a wedding of my own, maybe I'm more sensitive to weddings on television now than I was before. Maybe there were weddings that were equally as well depicted. But for me, it was like everything down to like them arriving there with that garment bag, and they just painted the mood of preparing for your wedding in all these different small ways. And then the wedding itself with like, the speech that Richard gives and the dancing and the people, everybody like just the weird folks that you're kind of trying to avoid. Like, just all that stuff was just so well done.
Yeah, it was more expensive. Their fake wedding, I shouldn't say fake wedding, their vow renewal was more elaborate and fancy than my own wedding.
Oh yeah, and
I mean,
ours as well.
obviously.
We built a barn
Yeah.
for our wedding.
You said that they played that song at your wedding, and of course, all I was thinking was, wait, Sabrina, did you have a full band?
No,
big
we had a DJ. I don't like bands because bands always. I once saw a band that did that one song by Walk the Moon was really popular. Shut Up and Dance, and the band leader said, "And now walk on the moon," and that was the moment I decided no band.
Right.
I would like to hear Regina say what we are all thinking about Christopher tonight.
Oh, wait a second. Is this it? Is this why we think that he's Basura?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, we are.
Yes.
That's what we represent.
No.
Ready on the count of three.
There's more.
1, 2, 3.
Basura.
No, you're not getting that out. You're not getting that out of me. The guy's
No, I got.
mean,
What do you
the
mean?
guy's drunk.
Drunk or not?
Emily came
Drunk
over
or
and he
not,
was not
he's a
drunk when he
piece of
came to the
shit.
party.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that he had different a different idea of what I
No.
like. I'm not completely convinced he knew that. I'm not completely
His
convinced
intentions
that
were
he
to get
knew
back
that he knew that Luke was going to be there. I
Oh
think
my
that,
God.
Oh, I'm sure he knew that.
That's
he was
worse.
gonna be
He, like, fully had intentions to
Oh,
sabotage.
yeah.
And that
He
even
was
if he
set
didn't
up.
know, that is worse. Like I don't know who said that, but that's worse. Like he's gonna go to the wedding thinking that Luke isn't there to try to get Lorelai to get back with him. Like no,
Yeah,
and he only
I
did it
think
because
you're
he only did it
alone,
because
John,
Emily
on
told
this
him to
one.
because Emily said it's not too late. Like you deserve to be together. Like no, like she's
And
in a
he knows
happy,
about-
loving relationship right now. Like
yeah.
no.
So Chris
Even
doesn't
his
give a
daughter
crap.
told him not to don't get involved in the relationship. She's happy. That's why she told him to stay away to begin with. So
Exactly.
because Emily said it was okay, I think is crazy.
Well, Chris
Do
knows
you
how
guys
Emily
think though
is.
that
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I have to process it because just my gut instinct doesn't. I mean, I'm not saying that what he did was right and that what he did, I just don't really. I see it as a fumbling mistake. I don't see it as a garbage. That's the only thing I'm saying.
John,
I
go
think
back
he
and
got drunk on
watch
purpose.
that scene with
Courage.
Luke and Chris fighting. Even when Lorelai's in the other room, you can hear the two of them through the door yelling at each other, but listen to what Chris is saying. And it might change you because with us talking through it, you might not have actually heard everything that was going on.
This guy's not talking. But so do you guys think that Emily wanted him to do it or planned for him to do it there though?
Yeah, that's why
At
she
the-
gave him the invitation.
But
I
which I feel like she would have to know that it could potentially cause a scene, especially like if she doesn't really think very much of Luke.
That's
and,
sort
like,
of
his demeanor.
That's exactly how I feel. That's exactly how I feel.
I feel like Emily Gilmore wouldn't like that.
To me, it feels like what happened tonight was more of a mistake than it was like first of all that stuff that he's saying to Luke, like as bad as bad as it is, I have to see it through the lens of this guy has had like at least 5 or 6 glasses of whiskey and he's a mess. He's like an absolute mess. I mean, some might call that mess a garbagey mess, but I just sort of see it for what it is, which is like, okay, this is a person at their worst, clearly in a variety of ways. In terms of, I guess the part that I am trying to process, and it's what Stacy just said, which is, it feels like, why would they want this to go down like that? Why would that be the plan? Like, go there, try and get Lorelai away from Luke. It's like, it seems like that's just a recipe for 2 guys to get into an actual fight at this event. It doesn't make sense to me.
Okay,
So John, you would
I
say you're
think-
reserving judgment for like a more like conscientious, like you want him like yeah, he's drunk or whatever, but you don't think that like this is his defining jerk moment. You want it more to be like a conscientious like malice act of malice.
Well, I mean, if you're going to call him garbage, if you're going to say that he's absolute garbage, then like, I want to see something where a guy who's not drunk, who's like really, I just want to see something a little bit more calculated and a little bit. I mean,
That's fair.
He just strikes me as a buffoon. You know what I mean? Like, he just in there. I got to remember.
He even told her, I was going to get you along.
Can we all
You gotta
stop
remember,
talking over each other?
Wait, he's in love with Lorelai. We got to remember that. He's absolutely, clearly, 100% in love with her. And he was invited to the wedding.
and he drinks like 6 glasses of this stuff, partly because of how freaking depressed he is seeing her with Luke, which tells me that this was not something that he was completely expecting to be dealing with. And so all of that together tells me that like it's not really the place for me to judge his full character. This is like one specific event that happened.
So I just wanted to clarify really quick that I do think that Emily still had an intention to want to break them up, but I just didn't think she planned for it to be at the wedding. I feel like when she handed him the invitation, like somebody had mentioned, it was more like out of, it'll be weird if Christopher's not, invited, because we knew like Strobe and Francine and all of that, like they're in their circle still.
No.
So
Okay,
anyway,
so
so-
here's
Stacy.
yeah, I feel like that Chris knows what kind of antics Emily can get up to, so I feel like he should have known better.
All right, I'm gonna say my piece before I can't. So with how this night went, yes, Emily probably would not have wanted a scene at her wedding, though this happened behind, like in the back end, and so obviously Emily didn't see it, right? She only have an inkling of what's going on because of what Lorelai said at the very last line of the episode. But as we know, Emily, she's very deviant and she can be very sneaky. And why else would she want Christopher there besides the fact that he's been there? Like, Emily has known him for so many years, but she gave him the invitation not only to just invite him because he's Rory's father, but she invited him solely for the purpose of getting Lorelai back. And she said it in that episode. Now, in this episode, Chris, regardless if you're drunk or not, and the whole phrase drunk thoughts or sober feelings, like he intentionally wanted Lorelai back, and he said all of those things because he wanted her back and knew that it was going to piss Luke off. And like, it doesn't matter like whether you're drunk or not, like it doesn't excuse what he did and it doesn't make it right. And that's the epitome moment of why I think he's a piece of insert word here. And like, I'm sorry, but drunk or not, like it doesn't matter what he said. I agree.
I can distinguish the two. I mean, like, believe me when I say I do not think that what he did was right. Like, I don't think what he did was right. It was certainly, it certainly was a horrible scene and horrible for Lorelai, horrible for Luke. But I do think that there's a difference between when somebody is drunk and they make a fool of themselves, and when, I mean, if he was sober, he might not have done that. He might not have walked up to her table and said that. He might not have had that argument. And I think that I think that that's an important distinction. Now, you don't have to like when it comes to Emily, I'm there with everyone. Like, Emily is definitely the villain here. Like, Emily, whether she wanted him to do this at her wedding or not, whatever the case may be, she is the one who caused all of this. She caused it for everyone.
John,
Can I?
would.
No, hang on, Carl. I just want to make 2 points. One, I don't think Emily wanted him to cause a scene. What I think Emily's intention was, she was hoping that with Luke there, Lorelai would be able to look at both men and realize that she belongs, quote unquote, better with Christopher than Luke. I think that's what that's what Emily was trying to do. She was trying to show, like, compare and contrast of the two. So she purposely invited Christopher. It had nothing to do with that they knew each other or not. The other thing is, you're right, John. He would not have done that if he was drunk, but he was aware that he would not have done that if he wasn't drunk. That's why he kept drinking. He was looking for liquid courage.
I agree 100%, a million percent.
That's not a bad argument. I just want to have a hard. I have a hard time. I have a hard time defining somebody by their behavior when they're drunk, because I know
plenty of people, myself included, who would not like to be defined by things that we did while we were drunk, regardless of this like drunk,
They were
drunk actions
deliberately
over feeling
showing
stuff.
us. They were deliberately showing us watch him pound them down and glaring at them, and he pointed at the glass and he pointed at the waiter, like he was deliberately pounding down those drinks, and they were showing us that he was pounding down those drinks so he can come over to that table and sit down with them and say, I'm here to have that drink. And then he just tries to just needle Luke. And even before the thing happens upstairs, when he's like, you know, talking about the funeral and reminiscing and just doing anything he could, but he was like getting up that courage. And I agree with what Mary said, that it was, he deliberately got drunk so he'd have the courage to say stuff.
Maybe. I think that I think that that's definitely something that could have been happening. And certainly, I mean, I think that a person doing that to get up that liquid courage is something that happens and something that could have happened here. But I don't know for sure that that's what was happening, because there's also another thing, which is people sometimes drink in order to try to alleviate feelings of pain that they have. That's a very, very classic thing that drinkers do. And so it's also possible that he was drinking in order to try to quell those feelings that he had, only to find that in the end, the drinking actually caused him even more problems. That's another way that could have happened. Neither of them, I can say for sure, is what happened. Now, if like, as somebody who wants to see him as a good guy who was in a bad place tonight, I'm probably going to err on the side of he was drinking in order to try to forget his feelings and found himself in a bad place. That's how I would interpret it.
I feel like the timing of Strobe's death also plays into what you were just saying, John.
100%.
Totally.
I think he would have said it
John,
louder. I'm sorry.
And John, that's you actually made that distinction earlier a couple times. I thought that's very important. I think someone said Amanda, and then I know Elle had some thoughts on this episode.
Thank you.
Just to say, oh, sorry. Go ahead, Amanda. I was just gonna say that you've been blinking.
Also, harvest those kernels. Harvest those kernels.
All right, go.
Done.
If you want to get involved in another couple of rounds of couch slots, you might want to go harvest.
Yes, please.
So I just want to say that I love Christopher, and he was drinking. He just lost his dad not that long ago, and now he's trying to fight to keep Lorelai. I don't blame him for fighting for something that he loves. He was trying to get her back, and did he go about it the right way? No, but he was also fueled a bit by Emily saying what she said to kind of intrigue him and egg him on. So I don't think he was, he did it the wrong way, but it was coming from a good spot.
My question is,
so-
what was he fighting for exactly? Him and Lorelai have not been together for such a long time. That ship has sailed at this point in time. What exactly is he fighting for?
Well, I don't know. I mean, he just
wants her. He just go ahead.
No, sorry. No, continue, Amanda. I'm sorry. I'm getting I'm super fired up, but like, I mean, in a good way. But
Good.
But please continue. I apologize for cutting you.
No, it's fine. He loves her. He has loved her forever, and he's been waiting for her. The only reason they didn't get together was Gigi, and now Sherry's gone, and he still has Gigi, and he's trying to be together with her. He wants to be with Lorelai. I don't think that he thinks that ship has sailed. She came with tequila to his house after his dad died. I mean, I don't think that he thinks that it's over.
That's exactly what I was.
Rachel,
okay, now.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was going to say too with the tequila. I think she's not innocent in this. I get that she tells him tonight that she's committed and she's not interested and Emily's wrong, but I think that's why it was so inappropriate for her to go over there with the tequila. That's why I said she should have done it with Rory. She should have been over there. She could have been there for him in appropriate ways. And I think when you do things that are inappropriate and you start to blur lines, because really, why would Chris think it's coming from Emily. Oh, you need to be with her. But it wasn't coming from Lorelai, but she did send some signals that maybe the door is open. Why? I mean, if she's in a committed relationship, then why is she coming over here? Rory just left. Why didn't she come with her? She came after hours, spent the night, and brought tequila.
I just wanted to say, like, from what I've been hearing from like just both John and Amanda's points, seeing and what Christopher has gone through. Like, if we're gonna add empathy to a character, what Amanda said is factual. John just lost Sherry. John just lost his father.
No, John, not John. Chris.
I'm sorry, not John. Christopher.
Christopher.
You know what, John? You probably been through it too.
Like, whoa.
Yeah, well, maybe so. But yeah, so Christopher lost those two things and now has a child that he doesn't know how to raise. And he's just kind of like flailing in this real world that he has been navigating through, mostly from the advice or the lessons or the tell-alls of people around him. We've seen this throughout the series. He does things when people tell him to do it. Emily Gilmore telling him to go to her wedding to get Lorelai back is, again, people telling him to do it. So in that moment, he had a mission to confess his love to Lorelai and win her back. But he's too sheepish to do something like that. He's definitely
that goes with my that goes with my argument what I said about,
like Emily said.
That goes with my argument about
Exactly.
him being gullible.
Well, I mean, it goes like anybody can have any argument with him, but at the end of the day, we all need to acknowledge that Christopher is nothing but a sheep. I think that's why we have such volatile feelings towards him, especially like if you go against the grain in society, Christopher is going to annoy the God, like bejesus out of you, because Christopher does what people tell him to do a lot of the time. There's rarely a time when he doesn't really do things in and of itself. The fact that he had to have liquid courage to do what he did at the wedding is proof enough that he just doesn't really have much guts to do the actions himself. So I understand where you're coming from, John, and I understand what you're saying, Amanda, but it still shows to me and to a lot of other people in the group that Christopher he's too sheepish to do things on his own. That's why this got so messy and why it ended the way it did.
I think that if either of them really cared for her and respected her, though, they would want her to like be happy and like let her make her own decisions rather than trying to like force themselves down her throat with like Christopher and what they think is right for her life and whatever.
Yeah, she's what, 35 now, 36?
Yep,
She
35.
should be able to make her own decision on
36.
who she wants in her life.
Of course.
Yes, agreed.
Nobody's disagreeing. I don't think anybody's disagreeing with that. And I think that really the person behind
Emily
that
is.
Yeah, Emily. Yeah, oh no, I'm of course. Like, you know, I said it in the last episode. I'm down on Emily. I had to change my Remarkist poll from choosing Emily after yesterday.
I kept on saying, I can't wait to find out if you change your mind after you see what she does. And I'm glad you changed your mind.
But I haven't changed my mind on Christopher. I haven't changed my mind on Christopher. It's not to say that I love Christopher or want her to be with Christopher, but I'm not there with the garbage. I'm not there.
Another round.
Well,
How did I do what?
everyone get a shot. Everyone take a shot.
Take a shot.
Damn, we're not.
Hey, Elle, what were you saying?
Speak for yourself.
Yeah, a lot of people kind of touched on everything anyway. Not to be too repetitive, but Emily didn't explicitly say to Christopher to come and tell Lorelai this at her wedding. Like, it was strongly implied, yes, by giving him the invitation to come. But I always thought of it more of like to encourage him to come and to see Lorelai and Luke together, to see what she saw, because she put all that together just from the way that Lorelai was looking at a wedding dress. That's what caused her to go to Christopher. And so I was like, then Christopher made his choice to kind of keep drinking because he didn't have the courage. And he kind of references that as well in the episode by when he's talking to Rory and when he says, you know, like how Lorelai always knew what she wanted and she'd go out and get it. And he always struggled with that. He couldn't be the person to just go up and say, Lorelai, I'm in love with you, like, let's be together. He couldn't quite get there. And then he got like too messy by being too drunk and made some really wrong choices that escalated really quickly because Luke was already kind of annoyed because Lorelai dumped the fact that she had seen Christopher behind Luke's back. So Luke was already a little on edge. Then you add on the whole Rory Logan stuff and everything just kind of exploded.
Right.
So I don't think it was exactly what anybody intended. And I certainly wouldn't think that Emily would have wanted like that kind of an interruption at her very expensive vow renewal.
Yeah.
I think I'd cut off Tiffany. I'm sorry.
If you were also think about it, when she turns around and said to Christopher, to Luke about the whole thing with the drinking, she says to him the night of the reenactment, and he had absolutely 100% asked her straight up what was going on. He said, you lied. So I think that's probably why Luke was so off, because he realized that she lied to his face twice.
Yeah.
The thing that makes me the saddest, though, is the fact, like, Emily told Christopher she didn't think much of him, but he comes from good breeding. And it doesn't even make sense because she was like, oh, this man owns a diner and he's a divorcee. But it's always Chris, right? Didn't he marry Sherry?
Yep.
But somehow, in that world, he's more acceptable. And that makes me so, so sad.
And he didn't even have a good standing. He didn't even have a good standing job. He lost his business. He couldn't pay for a freaking dictionary, and so like, if anything, Luke was more of an upstanding guy than Chris.
Yeah, doesn't make him
Right?
less of a
He's
man
an
if he doesn't have money.
entrepreneur.
But to,
Yeah.
That's
but
an
to
option. That's not a man.
he's from a family of privilege and wealth and status, and Luke is not. And so in her eyes, that's worthy more than he doesn't need a job because he has family wealth.
Does
I was
Emily
gonna say.
know that like Christopher's card got declined when he tried to buy the dictionary?
It doesn't matter.
I don't think it
Right, it
matters.
doesn't
because
matter.
that name
It really
holds
doesn't.
that credit card decline.
Yeah, because she understands that, like, really behind that credit card is a whole family that could potentially, if need be, give him the money that he needs. I mean, ultimately, it's really a class. It's a class thing, 100%. And unfortunately, as true as that is, Tasha, he is, like, Luke is sort of on paper, he's the more together guy, but it really doesn't matter to Emily because all she cares about is this idea of status.
Well, we don't know how much money Luke has, though, because remember, he dropped $100K on a building. He could be rich and just be very frugal.
Yeah, but the difference between there's a difference between new money and old money.
Old money.
Oh, yeah,
and,
definitely.
and-
I can say.
and old money comes with something that's very different. It's really less about the actual money itself, and it's more about your
Status.
place in this society. And,
Oh, yeah,
and
I've seen Gossip Girl.
Old
Yeah.
money
And
can
reputation.
and still
So-
be old.
So let's actually, I would love to, because this is great. I love this conversation, by the way, and I loved the point you made, Elle. I had forgotten about how that scene there in the other room with Rory sort of does play into this idea that he was giving himself liquid courage, but I don't see it quite so like, oh, how awful of him to give himself, to try and give himself liquid courage for this. I sort of see it a little bit more like very sad. Like, it just feels sad to me because in my mind, I think he thinks that somebody who could come up to him and kiss him out of nowhere, he admires that. He sees that as like, wow, that's a person who has something that I don't have. And he probably even thinks that that's something that Lorelai herself admires, because obviously it's something that Lorelai does. So perhaps this idea that he would give himself liquid courage might be at least at that point in the evening, he's already drank a couple of glasses of whiskey. In his mind, his warped idea might be that
Lorelai might be like, oh my gosh, Christopher, I've never seen this from you before. Like, you were always so wishy-washy, but now, wow, I'm starting to see something that I mean, that might have been going through Drunko's head at that moment, right? And so so I feel like it's hard for me to judge, you know, a guy like that, like just his whole, I mean, he is trying his best, at least at this point, to raise a daughter by himself. And, you know, it's just, yeah. Anyway,
he really should stay at home with the daughter.
I'm sure that there's more. Probably he gives up Gigi for adoption at some point. I don't know. But here's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna do another round of couch slots, which will then take us into our next discussion point of the evening, which is what do you think?
Rory
What do you think?
Rory and Logan.
Rory and Logan.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
How much and what's the word?
So let's see. Is 100 kernels too rich for your blood?
A little bit.
I mean,
Yeah,
Go
just a
from
little
30
bit.
to 100.
Little bit.
All right,
little
let's
bit.
We're not all Christophers.
Let's do 50 kernels then. 50 kernels.
And what am I supposed to do?
Oh, were you not here? Do you not know what couch slots
What
is?
word?
You're supposed to give me all your kernels, girl.
So the next one in our line is hearts. So just put in the memo hearts or round hearts. And Carl, the way that it works is that you're going to tip me 50 kernels and you're going to put in the memo hearts. And then I'm going to open up the couch and the first 12 people in the row, and I'm going to film it so that everybody knows for sure. I'm going to post it on the Bag Boy group afterwards. And everybody in that 12 is going to be a winner in order from the top row down to the bottom.
Should we drop ourselves?
Yeah, drop yourselves.
All right, I'm gonna go.
Come on, Carl, you can do it. 50 kernels.
Do it, man. Do it.
Come on, man.
Peer
That's like what?
pressure,
That's like
Carl,
three. That's
peer
like three
pressure.
events. You could be a big winner. We've had some big winners tonight. Come on, big winner. Come on, big winner. No, Carl, not yet. We're not doing it yet. I need to get everybody off of the couch first. I'm going to drop folks down. All right. Okay. No, closing the couch. All right. Turning on my recorder, getting the recorder ready. Okay, so give you guys a second to tip me 50 kernels. And this is for the Hearts Memento and a split of the pool. 75% of what comes is going to be split amongst everybody. The other 25% I'm going to burn. 40% split by the top row, not including myself. 20% split by the second row, 10% split by the third row, and 5% split by the fourth row, which could potentially just mean that you recoup a little bit of your losses, depending on how many people play. Are we ready? We're about to open the couch. I've just hit record, and we are open in 3, 2, 1, open. Oh my goodness, Charlie. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
So close.
8, 9, 10.
Wait, I would say not fair,
11?
but
Is it the same order as the last round?
Close.
No.
Well,
close.
It's close.
Because Al was
Very
right, so was
close.
Delara.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's Lisa.
5 in the morning.
Wait a second. I'm pretty sure that I brought somebody else up.
You're
This is a-
missing one, John.
This is a lot.
Amy, you got commitment. I saw you up earlier. I was like, dang.
This
Oh
is a
no,
lot
Cara
for
Thompson.
4 to 5 in the
Cara
morning.
Thompson couldn't join. So it is Cindy Hopkins is our final winner of the night. There we go. Charlie and Sherry, first row again. Wow.
Jaeger.
Congrats.
Charlie, I love you, girl.
Rachel and Amy, Regina.
Charlie, you
and
know I love you, but
Cindy.
you're going down.
I don't know. I feel like I've gotten pretty good at hitting that thing fast. I feel like I'm in the spot.
We have
Bring
20.
it
We have
on.
23 people that did not get on the couch. That's well,
that's a lot of folks. Hopefully they all were playing the game, because that would be a
Sorry.
pretty large pool that we would be splitting. And my other phone seems to have died. Okay, now we go into it.
Okay.
My finger didn't go fast enough. I hit it and then it just didn't go.
I expect to not get up on the top 5 because I have an Android.
I mean,
Before we talk about
it's like a good
Logan,
like 5-6 seconds before you're allowed to raise your hand on Android for some reason.
I don't know
Yeah,
how I
that's
got
what I
up
was
here
having.
since the sleep.
yeah.
Does
I
it
don't know
go
how
by
I got
you
up here.
raising your hand, or does it go by you giving out the?
No, it goes by you raising your hand. Couch
Yep.
slots is
John,
is,
I
mine
see a
was like
repo man
deleted
coming for one of
because
Charlie's
before I
mementos
click
because
it.
she won't be able to afford to maintain that thing forever at 500
Woohoo!
apiece.
I don't
Well,
know.
no,
I'm
because-
1 day away from a 50-day streak.
well, no, because remember that memento is going to degrade at a very slow pace because it's so dense.
Hey, John.
So
Before we talk about Rory and Logan, which I think a lot of us are gonna have a very different viewpoint on it. I sent you about my day, like last night's episode.
Okay.
How I sent you a message on Facebook. I'm not sure if you saw it, but for some reason my streak didn't end, and I'm really surprised. Not mad about it, but I just I'm just nervous.
I'm sorry. I will get to that. I apologize. I know that you asked me about that. Don't worry about it. It
Awesome.
will get fixed. It will be fixed.
There was a lot happening last night.
Yeah,
Oh,
there
yeah,
was.
definitely.
So, Logan.
Okay, before we talk about Logan in this episode, though, I just want to bring up that last episode with the whole thing, he was clearly letting Rory on.
Oh yeah.
Tiresome.
Oh yeah.
Very tiresome.
Doesn't sound like something Logan would do.
Yeah,
She
we
was-
just
Yeah, that
talked
doesn't
about
sound like
it
Logan
at
at all.
She was really fishing for an invite just as much as he was leading her on.
Oh,
so neither of them
absolutely.
are real innocent in that situation.
That's fair.
Say it
No,
loud.
almost canceled on dinner.
Shout it from the rooftops, Chris.
I will say
No.
that, you know, if you compare his behavior in the last episode, which is no question he was leading her on, and then you kind of couple that with this speech that he has to her, where he's like, I would consider asking you out on a date, but I don't want to. I'm bad with commitment, but he's being brutally honest. So it looks really good right now, right? But when you kind of look at it in the context of his behavior up until now, it feels a little like you flirt really hard with somebody, you get them into you, but then you're kind of like, yeah, but like, just want to let you know, I don't do relationships.
Sometimes that's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
No!
it's clearly fun. It's clearly fun for the guy, but I feel like
That's called polygamy.
is it cool?
Not good. Not good.
Come on, Latter-day Saint.
Well, no.
Hey, I've been
No.
on both sides of it, so I understand both sides coming from.
A polygamy?
Hey,
No.
what we're not going to do is that. So
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. We'll do that when we do a rewatch of Big Love.
I think Rory missed an opportunity when he asked her, "Hey, what's that suit made of?" She should have said, "Girlfriend material."
That sounds so fucking good.
Wait, I missed that.
Yeah, I mean, how do we feel about this? In the moment, I was very much like, I'm digging this guy because
I loved it.
I like that he was being honest with her, but now sort of thinking about it, with what Veronica said, it's true. You kind of have to also think about what he's been doing up until now. And I mean, he is playing with her feelings, right?
Playing's not
And
a crime, though.
I don't think
It's not
he's
a
playing
crime.
with her feelings.
But
I
he's
think
also
that
not
he's
just-
being honest.
Yeah, he said he had thought about asking her out a few times. So maybe
And
he
those
didn't think he was
and
leading
those
her on.
times,
Yeah,
yeah,
no.
and those times that we've seen are the times of him considering it, but he doesn't want to because he sees her as a girlfriend kind of girl.
Yeah,
Ken,
exactly.
can we
Like he
just-
doesn't want to hurt her feelings.
Yeah, but
Like,
why
that's
didn't
why
he just
tells
not?
her-
But then why didn't he just not interact with her? Why didn't he just like? He just
Because
Why
he
doesn't he
likes
just
her as a
leave her
person.
alone?
Because he still likes
He
her.
likes her as a person.
And
He
he's
likes her
not
as a
sure what
person.
to do.
Can't he
And he
That
just
doesn't
sounds
want-
like
yeah,
playing with
exactly.
a
He doesn't know what to do.
can't he just
He likes her as a person and still wants to be around her and wants her in his life, but he doesn't want to hurt her because he knows he can tell that she's a girlfriend girl, and so that's why he was honest and upfront with her and said, like, you're special, like you're intelligent, you're smart, you're beautiful. Like I have thought about asking you out, but I don't want to hurt you because I'm not a commitment type of guy. But he likes her and he wants her in his life in some capacity because he likes her, and so that's why he's still hanging around her. That's why he's still with her because
Well,
he likes her.
Yeah, but hanging around her and then, but hanging around with her and flirting with her while hanging around with her, knowing that he doesn't want to be in a relationship with her, I think are two very different things. Like, sure, I get it that he likes.
But can't he just flirt with her? I mean, I think we seen her just flirt and have fun. I think up until this point, any boy that she's liked and she's flirted with automatically becomes some love interest or some crazy romance. And I think we've never really seen her, we've never, so maybe we're being a little protective of her, of like, hey, she likes him, he should date her, he should be, you know, she's leading her on, when really they're just flirting. Like if she's getting her hopes up, that's called flirting, and just sometimes you flirt and that's it, and sometimes it turns into something. But I think up until now we've seen she likes somebody, they automatically love her. And
Okay, so let me ask this to the group.
Yes, Rachel.
Do you think that if he knew that she, so then taking that, assuming that that's the case here, that he's like, I'm just flirting with this girl and thinking that maybe she'll flirt back with me. It doesn't need to be anything like, you know, anything super deep, although he does say, I see you as girlfriend material. But like if she were to tell him, hey, I do want a relationship with you, like I really like, I'm developing feelings for you, do you think that he would, if he doesn't want to be in a relationship with it, stop the flirting?
We can't say.
No.
We can't.
I think he would
we can't
try.
say.
Maybe unsuccessfully, but I think he would try.
He would try.
I think
feel like
right
he would
too, but
definitely
wouldn't
try.
it be up to her to protect herself and say, okay, I
Yep.
like this guy, he's not serious about me. So either you continue to, you know, lie to yourself and say, oh, I can be the cool girl, I can be cool, no strings attached girl, or you're like, no, this is going to end really badly for me because I am not the cool girl at all. So I think that puts it in, but what about leadership of
100%, Rachel. I agree.
I think
I see that.
I think with like the way that Rory's kind of love life has gone, especially in the last year, I think she's kind of thinking like, even though like she's like, yes, like she's a girlfriend girl, like that's just who Rory is. But sometimes when you feel like, okay, like me being a girlfriend girl isn't really working, sometimes, especially in a college setting, maybe she's like, okay, well, that's not working. Maybe I should try something different. And then she obviously got the courage from her father from the first kiss story. She's thinking, okay, well, I'm in college. Some guys may or may not want a girlfriend. They may just want to have fun. And so maybe I should try it. This is coming from someone who is a girlfriend girl, but has tried the having fun, like, let's not have any strings attached, blah, blah, blah. Obviously it didn't work for me, but I'm not Rory. But yeah, maybe Rory was thinking like, maybe I should just take a shot. Like this guy is fun. And who knows, like if it's not for me, I'll back out. But I don't know. Sometimes you just gotta have fun.
She seems like the
Agreed.
type of person. She seems like the type of person who it would not be very good for.
Well,
at least right now, she feels like she is trying to convince herself that she's that with this guy, but that like, they no way. He is going to absolutely 100% take her heart. Like you can already see it happening. You can already see. I mean, I hope that she takes his heart.
Oh wait, she I hope
You
that
got
he
this.
shoot, I'm super fried. I hope that he feels that he starts to feel the same way about her, and that he starts to feel like I don't want to lose her, and that sort of changes him a bit as well. I guess we'll see. But she doesn't strike me as like being particularly good at the I'm just gonna like be, you know, I'm gonna just do like no strings attached, just be like a girl who just like has fun. It just doesn't feel like Rory, but I don't know. Maybe
I think
maybe that's
also,
Rory.
to add
I
to
mean-
Tasha's point too, one of the first things we saw Logan do is push Rory out of her comfort zone, the whole you jump, I jump Jack episode. So she already associates Logan with pushing her out of her comfort zone. So if this is now the next step of, you know, if she's going to want to be with him, she's going to have to go out of her comfort zone and try something different. Not that it's going to succeed, but
She's
maybe
testing
she's
her own
already like,
boundaries.
yeah,
Yeah.
and he's the one that's showing her to test the boundaries. So he's kind of like opening this whole new world of doing different things in general.
Hey, Kathy
Yeah.
Ann's been
Yep.
flashing.
Like-
This is her favorite episode.
Kathy Ann, hit it.
I've been writing to Tasha so that I can keep my thoughts straight. I don't think that he is intentionally flirting to flirt. I don't know who said it, but he likes to be around her, and because he does actually like her, the flirting just kind of happens.
Can I
But
ask-
he seems like a
Yes, I
flirty
agree.
guy, doesn't he? Doesn't he seem like a guy who flirts
Yes.
with
Yes,
girls?
of course.
he
Oh,
does.
yes,
Of
his personality.
Of course he is.
It's his personality, and a lot of people have a flirty personality.
Kathy,
yeah,
what's
yeah,
the
so-
reasoning for that?
He's a bit
Right,
of a
but I
womanizer.
so I guess in that way I sort of feel like Rory, somebody else, like, you know, regardless. I mean, not to say that he doesn't like Rory, that he doesn't feel like, that he isn't being honest when he says he thinks that she's special, but I don't really see his flirting with Rory as much different than his flirting with any girl.
Kathy Ann brings up
Well,
this
you
this
know,
morning. I'm kind of curious of like her reasoning on that. If she would.
Yes, please.
The reason that I think that it's not intentional flirting,
Sure. Yeah.
I think that it's not completely intentional because that's just his personality. He has a flirty personality, and when he does just want her around, but because he actually really likes her, it's hard for him to hold back that personality. Just like he brings out a different side in her, she's starting to bring out a different side in him.
So
Oh,
how
yeah,
do we know which
definitely.
one's which?
You can tell. Sometimes like because with me, like I have that extremely flirty personality where sometimes like I flirt with guys that I'm not really into, but it's fun, and sometimes I can get my way with it. But sometimes when I like a guy, I still flirt, and it may look the same, but I also look extremely stupid.
Sorry, I meant
like
how
that.
can we tell with Logan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he's more reserved.
An example would be the way that he was sitting with his family friend and talking to her compared to the way that he was when he was talking to Rory and being on, like when they were dancing and he was being honest and he was going through his whole spiel. It's just a different facial expression, a different body language.
No, that makes sense. I didn't really think about that. I appreciate you sharing. And I know Tasha helped you with that too. So
I love this conversation, by the way, and I love
It's definitely.
and I
he
love
definitely.
everybody's perspective. I love everybody's perspective here. I
Mhm.
think this is a really everything in
100%.
this episode is a deep dive on these characters.
Yeah, definitely, John. Like, Logan's giving me some Bill Henriksen. You know, we'll see what happens.
Why is Logan considered a bad guy for flirting though, in general? Why does that make it such a bad, why is he leading her on? Why is that such a bad thing? She flirts with Marty. Marty's in love with her. She doesn't notice it.
Is she
flirting?
She was flirting with Marty.
I don't
I don't
think
think
Also,
Marty at all.
flirty personality.
she
I'm not
does.
flirting
He
with
gets
Marty at all.
glorified for it, whereas Logan
Maybe not in a
vilified.
romantic way, but she still kind of flirts with them because she just, I don't know. I'm just saying, why does it make anybody a bad person if they're a flirt?
I don't think it
I mean, there's
I never thought that she was flirting with Marty.
she does. Well, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself on that. So
Well, I mean, Marty probably definitely sees it as flirting, but you know, Marty sees a lot of things.
right, and she doesn't see it as flirting. But I think I'm ahead of myself on the Saturday morning episode. But you guys will get back to that later, maybe you'll understand what I'm saying. But I just wanted everybody's like, Logan's so bad for leading her on. Logan's so bad for flirting, but she's flirting with him. Why isn't she bad? Because she's trying to lead him on and she's trying to get his attention. What's the difference?
Right.
Mandy.
Okay, so first I've been listening to everybody, and this group sucks because I will go into an episode clearly like fully hating a character, and then you guys make me reconsider my hatred of Christopher and think about Logan in a
I was
different
about to
way,
say,
and
elaborate,
just
please.
Yeah.
leave me alone with my hatred. But but with Logan, I don't see that there's anything wrong with flirting if it's like mutual flirting, but he knows that Rory really, really likes him. And in that way, I feel like it's a little unfair to her because he clearly in tonight's episode, he says that she's a relationship girl.
But
So he knew that long before now. And he has still been flirting with her, knowing that she will eventually expect something out of it. And I think that is a little bit unfair, to keep a girl around just because you like her, knowing that she'll want more and you never will.
Yes.
But aren't those her expectations, that she should guard her heart and she should say, wait, I want more than this person will give me?
That
Yes.
yes, she should guard her heart, but at the same time, his flirting to her, she's going to think, oh, well, he clearly likes me. He, like, even in tonight's episode, she's like, why haven't you made a move? Like, she's been expecting it this whole time because she knows that he likes her
Veronica.
also. And I mean, now that they've had that little conversation, then whatever happens, it's kind of the fault of both of them. But in the beginning, like, Logan could see how much she liked him and still, like, instead of being like, oh, well, maybe I should keep my distance from her because I'm never going to want the same things that she wants, I'm going to continue flirting with her. And that's where I think a lot of the thoughts of him leading her on is coming from.
But she was the
knew
one
that she liked
who,
her.
but she was the one who just told him that I mean, yes, I think she might have been lying to herself a little bit, in the sense of telling Logan that she didn't want anything serious and that she wanted no strings attached fun. She's the one who told him that, and I think it was Tasha who said it earlier, that you sometimes have to try something new, because she's right. She'd been a girlfriend girl for so long and that wasn't working for her. So she wanted to try something new. So I think that's why, the flirting in that sense, in Rory's mind, I feel in that moment, was harmless because she had said that, or maybe, I mean, in Logan's mind, that it's harmless because they're having no strings attached fun at the moment. So
Yes, but
Well, I liked his honesty
and I love that he was honest with her.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
I
that
have a
was
question
just
for Emma.
established tonight. He's been flirting with her for a very long time. It was only
Yeah.
established tonight that they wanted
Mhm.
like stringless fun.
Yeah,
And like
and
John, I do agree that I think his honesty is refreshing and great in this episode. But for sure, in last night's episode with, the Seymour Hirsch party, he knew Rory wanted to come. And if he had no intention of inviting her, he should have just said, oh, I'm so sorry that I won't be able to invite you, But instead, he just left it hanging and left her hoping.
that damn
Or
passivity.
don't bring it up at all.
Right. See,
No,
okay,
I
so
think
I
he
have a
did
question,
consider
Emma.
it.
Like,
I think he did consider bringing her to that party.
Yeah, I think he did.
And that
too.
was one of those times where
Oh,
I've considered
okay.
it before, but
Right.
you're the girlfriend kind of girl.
But
So-
her expectations are not his responsibility.
No, I know, but I feel like
Exactly.
yeah, but sure, if that's one of the times that he considered.
see, and this
But
is
is
where
that one of the
waters
things
get
she?
muddier. This is where the waters get muddy, because even though we'll be like, oh, well, Logan this, oh, we'll Roy that, and the waters are pretty muddy here.
What's your question for me, Carl? You said you had a question for me.
Well, I was gonna ask the question of the fact that like what Mandy said, that you know he was kind of like flirting with her, keeping her around, you know, playing little silly games with her and stuff, and you know there was always like that no strings attached. They were flirting, things like that. Do you think that Rory knew that it was a no strings attached flirting or not?
Absolutely not. I don't think she knew.
I don't think it
until he
matters.
told her to.
For
Oh,
her, it
okay.
didn't matter, I think, at the time. And then when they had that conversation, when he was being honest with her and said, listen, I'm not a boyfriend kind of guy. Like, but you are a girlfriend kind of girl, and I don't want to hurt you in that way. I think in that moment, Rory realized that, being a girlfriend girl isn't working for me, and I want to try something new because I really like this guy and I want to have some fun with him. And I just want to try something different. And I think that's why she said, I want to have stringless fun. Like, I don't want anything serious. And I mean, he even said, like, you might think that right now, but she's like, no, I don't want that. I don't want that at all. And I think that's when she was being a little bit naive with herself and a little bit, she wasn't being honest with herself in that moment. But I think she just really wanted to try something different. And she really liked Logan and she wanted to see what would happen.
Okay, my apologies. I asked the question incorrectly. I meant, did you think that Rory thought that it was no strings attached flirting for the whole time? Because, Logan's been doing this for a minute. And I know that Chris...
I mean, what does
What
that mean,
the-
though, Carl? Because when you meet people and if they flirt with you or you flirt with them, are you thinking, oh, is this no strings attached, or do I have to be their boyfriend or girlfriend now? That doesn't.
I don't know what the hell it
I
means.
understand
I
the
don't flirt like that. I really don't. It's either you got to be direct with me immediately, or I'm gonna lose interest very fast. But that's me. That's not Rory.
Right, but and I just don't understand like what kind of question that is. Just because Logan clearly flirts with a lot of people, and she obviously knows that. She went to the Life and Death Brigade thing, and Stephanie basically told her what he was like, and that that there's a line for him. She's not oblivious to how many girls like him and are interested in him, and every time she sees him with a girl, it's a different girl. It's not news to Rory.
It's always a
she's
different.
not this. Yeah, she's not this weak kid who can't handle it. She's choosing to.
Oh no, I'm not
him.
seeing it as her being a sweet little kid. I'm seeing it as kind of like a thing where, okay, this is what's happening with Rory and Logan, and then the same thing kind of happens with Marty and Rory. Like, Marty wants this thing, but it's different. But at the same time, it's like someone else expecting something, and then they're like, no. And then, like you said, Rory knows the things with Logan, but at the end of the day, he even said it, and y'all said that he said it multiple times. She's a girlfriend girl. Even though she's being naive, she's trying to sign something new. She's a girlfriend girl, and she deep down even knows that she's a girlfriend girl. Right. So it's kind of like that muddy waters thing, as I said.
But he had to get to know her in the first place to learn that she's a girlfriend girl. And he wouldn't have he obviously knew that he found her attractive. He was flirting with her because he found her attractive, but along the way he's found that she's a girlfriend girl. And he wasn't really flirting with her at the wedding. She approached him.
Exactly.
There we go.
That
See,
is
now
true.
Megan, thank you for that, because that makes it so much clearer. So then we're going off of the idea that Logan didn't really know for sure that Rory was a girlfriend girl. And then once he started to get to know her, that's when he realized that she is a girlfriend type of girl. That makes it so much clearer in the understanding of what's going on here, because the back and forth on who's wrong and who's right, it did make it confusing for me talking about this relationship. Because the start of it, it just looks like muddy water.
I will say, I agree with that to an extent. I do think that he's known for a while that she's a girlfriend girl, and he's been flirting with her past that point. But that's neither here nor there. It's 9:15, and I mean, as you all heard, we have somebody from the UK who's with us, and it must be like five in the morning for you over there, Megan.
5 in the morning.
So we're gonna
Couch
we're gonna do our final round of couch slots.
Oh, Sean, thank you so much.
We're gonna do our final round of couch slots, and we're gonna and then I'm going to sign off. So everybody jump down to the couch.
How much?
You know what? Let's just, because we don't have quite as many folks here, let's just do the same that we just did, 50. So 50 kernels,
and we are going for the final memento in the set. This is spades. So you want to send the memo spades. Carl, come on, man, part with some of those kernels. Just give yourself a chance here. You could win very big. Wait, not yet, Lily. Lily, remove your hand, raise. That could potentially mess you up. All right, good, nice. Nope. All right, off. Nope, Lily, dismiss. All right. Okay, is everybody off the couch? No, Veronica's still there. Zach, do you want to play with us? Have you fallen asleep? Zachary? Uh-oh. Zach, are you still there? I don't think Zachary is there. So we can probably guess that Zachary is not. So this is the spades round. Spades is what you want to write in the memo. And yes, 50 kernels. And obviously you definitely need to put spades in that memo. Please put spades in that memo. I could probably figure it out based on time if you happen to forget, but that will make it a lot harder for me because the last round and this round were both 50. So I'll need to distinguish them. And that will be the easiest way for me to do that without going into the database. All right, are we ready? We are doing this. The final round of couch slots. I mean, just saying it, just saying the word. What's going on here? What's going on with my phone? Oh, there we go. All right. Okay. I've got the video ready to go. We are opening the couch on 3, 2, 1, and open. Uh-oh, Chrissy, Charlie. Kara, come on, Kara, get up on the couch this time. Tasha, Kendra, Lara, how many is that? So far, how many is that?
Stupid internet. You need 4 more.
Rachel, Amy, is that?
You get 10. You need
What is going on
11
here?
total. I only see 7 of us, so you need
Oh,
4 more. Oh,
shoot.
there's 2 more.
Oh,
So you just
okay.
need 2.
Well, I
Yeah, I see
definitely
now.
did Amy. I did Amy, and then Cindy, I guess would be the next one, right?
I'm just saying
There we
this is
go.
my
Boom.
first time betting or doing anything like this, and I feel like
There
I'm
it
doing-
is.
Yeah, we did
It's
good.
addictive, trust me.
All right, there it is. There's our winner circle.
Amen.
Chrissy, you are in the top here
Woo! Congrats.
for the first time.
Congrats.
I will send you the code, Chrissy. Well, I will send you the code, Chrissy, in our chat here on Clubhouse in a second. Everybody,
Third
come
it's
on up.
10, right?
Side note, Chrissy, is that Chad Michael Murray in your profile?
Is that?
It is. I was
heard-
on my
okay,
honeymoon
okay.
in Whistler and met him.
From a girl
right.
who's from Buffalo. How did
Everybody,
you meet him?
everybody who would like to join us on the couch can certainly come back up for post show, post show, and we will be. I will be heading out. I'm going to make some folks moderators.
Wait, I have a question. How do you put the little flag in the corner? Because so many people have the flag.
It's for the Olympics. If you put it in your bio, it will appear.
Oh,
It's an Olympic team.
And you
So
have
like
to
when I
update
tried to
it.
put the England flag, it didn't work. But now I've put the UK flag because it's Team GB. It works. So it's got to be an Olympic team.
Hey John,
Got it.
sorry, but like I was raising my hand because I went into the app and
Oh.
it said I had negative 167 kernels.
Good lord.
And I was freaking out. But then it like switched back to like whatever 2000 or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah,
that's
that's
why I raised my hand.
I
I don't know, like
yeah, the
you wanted to
reason-
let me up, but I was freaking out.
I know the reason for that is just quite simply it hadn't pulled in all of the transactions in the database yet, and so it was calculating based on like half of them, and then once all of them came in, it calculated correctly. Just in general, you should just know that if you ever like log in and you're like, whoa, my kernels are all over the place, just give it a beat. Just give it a beat. let the system load everything in. And the way that this
never
app
happens.
is,
I was like bugging.
it won't always be that like that, but for now that's sort of the way that this is
the way that this one works.
Congratulations, Kendra. You won every single round something.
And happy birthday,
So
again,
have I.
Rachel.
Thank you.
Hey, Chrissy. Can I ask you a
Congratulations,
question?
everybody.
Thank you. Can I ask you a question, Chrissy?
Chrissy?
Yeah. Okay. So, coming from a girl who's from the same town and went to the same high school as Chad Montgomery, is he as gorgeous in person?
He is. I was walking around a shop in Whistler, and I happened to actually almost run into him in an aisle.
The fact that I'm like from his hometown and I've met his father, yet I haven't met him, bugs me.
Hey,
I
John,
met
would you
Chad
consider-
once, and he's the nicest guy. Like, me and my coworker met him at a book event, and she was jealous because he like took my hand and like took us aside to talk to us. For
I
a
would have
while.
lost it.
She was like, "What just happened?" Like he was like, he took your hand. I was like, I know. He's very, very beautiful, very nice too.
Oh, Joe.
He has really like he's aged well, that guy.
He's like not even 40 yet.
Yes, he
I mean, I just saw him recently in like a what, where are they now, like BuzzFeed post, and he looked a lot better than me, that's for sure.
Hey, John, do you think Marty's going to be in the reboot?
I hope so. I really hope so. I hope that he is in the reboot, and I hope that he's just like phenomenal, just in every way.
Hey guys, I'm gonna bounce. This has been fun, frustrating, but fun. And I will catch you. I didn't know we were not having an episode tomorrow morning, so that's good. I can sleep in.
Tomorrow's Friday.
Tomorrow morning. Tomorrow's Friday.
Tomorrow's Friday.
Tomorrow's Friday.
Tomorrow's Friday.
Why did I think today was Friday?
No, because tonight we did a fun special. We did a special kind of event tonight, I guess. But
Well, that's
It
good.
was-
I didn't sleep in. I would have missed work. Okay.
so, oh, and Chrissy, let me give you that code really quick so that you can claim your memento. And I think that once we get memento trading in the loop, I have a feeling that Charlie she might drop some serious kernels your way, hoping that you might give her that.
So she can have 3 out of the 4.
Well,
I'll
she
drop
might do the
all
same
of
for
my
Emma.
kernels for one.
John, would you ever consider doing like a talk or like a quick session on your experience with the award shows, like you were touched on a little bit earlier?
Sure. I mean, I don't really have much of an experience with them, except I was in the Television Academy for many years, and then just this past year forgot to pay my membership, and then discovered that because of that I was now revoked from my membership. But
Wow.
but I'm going to be honest. I rarely ever voted, and I just really do. It's not that I have a problem with award shows. I get that they're fun, but I really see them for what they are. They are truly a popularity contest. They are truly a clique of people in the industry who, are there. It's a bunch of actors who have been in the Academy for a long time that all decide on what is their favorite performance, their personal favorite performance that season. It's like there's not a whole lot of
Sounds like the grand.
So it's just an exercise in nepotism.
I don't know. I mean, I just think that it's like I think in art in general it's hard to like put to tag an award onto art, like I was mentioned, I've mentioned this before in like the concept of like drunk acting. Drunk acting, I mean, obviously there's some really bad drunk acting out there, but you can also look at like some of the best drunk acting, and like it's like they all have their differences and their variations, and I sort of feel like how can you put an award on variations of art? Art is art. So ultimately the answer to that question, how you do it, is you just get a group of people together to all give you their opinion, and those people are
they're industry insiders. I feel like, the Golden Globes, I guess, to me are probably the most like, they're the award show that I give the most kind of credit to, because the awards are given out by critics. Like that's what these people do for a living, is like critique things and sort of dig deep into what it is. And so I feel like it has a little bit more credence, but like I said, I'm not going to obviously mention who, but like, I have friends that are in the film academy, and I just know how that process goes. And even also the process, like, when I was in the television academy, like you're sent a Scantron form, like one of these like bubble fill out forms. And it's really as simple as that. Like, who do you want to win? And you just do that and you just send it off. And I just think there's something about that is just a little weird in terms of judging art. Personally, that's how I feel. Everybody's just like, I love the Emmys and the Oscars.
Yeah, no, I'm just kind of taking
Actually, we're all counting our kernels and being like, did we win? Did we lose? What's going on?
Oh, right. Well,
I gotta. Oh, by the way, John, I did bet with the Hearts, and I didn't get on because of the lag.
I didn't win
It's
any.
okay.
I bet on all four.
It's like, it's those
Okay.
slot machines.
No,
I mean, maybe we'll do.
Were you actually
No more gambling for this gal right here.
No more gambling.
Same, Regina.
Maybe in the future I'll do something else that will take that lag out of the equation. Maybe we'll do couch slots in a different way. But I thought it was kind of funny. Obviously the people who won a few times definitely liked it.
No, yeah, it was a good time. Yeah, it was a good time.
But in terms of your kernels, you're right now all who played, you're all like less that amount of kernels, however many rounds you played, right?
There's a total of 3. With a ranking of 1 to 10, how did you feel about this explosion of event?
So this was the second?
Yeah.
And remind me the first one again?
Oh, it was the aftermath of what happened in season 4.
Oh,
Mhm.
wait. The aftermath of what happened in season 4.
Yeah, so her
right.
sleeping with Dean, and then like the wife finding out, like all of that.
I think that, I guess I'm gonna probably still go with that because that one's still so massive because it's between our 2 main characters that we've been like so invested in their relationship. So I'm gonna still go with the explosion between 4 and 5, but I will say that the final moment of this episode where she's like, "I'm done with you," is probably one of the most awesome endings that we've had in the whole series.
I mean, yeah, because technically Emily is one of the 3 main characters.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah.
and that's something I want to touch on because, you know, we focus a lot on the men, but like for me, what kind of drew me into the show was the relationships with the women. And you know, my relationship with my mother was very much like Lorelai and Emily. And so for me, this episode was so pivotal because I have been in that type of situation where you feel betrayal by your mother, and like you have to be in that public position where you can't really like let it all loose, but you're just kind of like, I'm done. And so for me, like I really literally felt that in my stomach, and every time I watch it, it's like, and this is why I like Gilmore Girls.
Yo, same here, Tiffany. That is like my favorite part of the whole freaking episode.
And also in that moment, like I'm hating Emily up until that last moment, and then when she says that, even though of course I understand that the anger that Lorelai has and whatnot, there's also this pit that I have in my stomach just knowing that like this whole event, this whole night, everything, you know, which, you know, was up until then, like, you know, this like beautiful depiction of like the renewal of love and all of this stuff, and like it's all crashed down on Emily, and I don't really relish it. Like I just don't relish it. Like I don't feel like good for Emily. She deserved it.
Well,
I feel bad.
This is what always seems to happen. Like we have these good moments, and then Emily does something or something, you know, and it's just like, oh no, why ruin it? And so it's like a theme throughout the whole show that you know, for this to happen. So
yeah, and I know, like, I mean, now I feel like I understand. Definitely, I understand, Mary, like a lot of your perspective on the whole Emily thing way better than I did first and second season of the show. I still love Emily. I still have a hard time not loving Emily, but at the same time, I like, oof, it's intense. Like all of this stuff that she's doing is crazy, and yet I really can't relish that moment because I wanted that to be beautiful for both for her and for Richard. You know, I wanted to be good for Richard. So anyway.
Oh yeah, just to let you know, my favorite line that happened in this episode was, when a woman gives birth to a crack baby, you do not buy her a puppy. We should have talked about that extensively. Let's unpack that. It's too late now, but let's unpack.
We'll unpack that in a future episode, but I will say that I did see that recently on a post and was kind of like, wait, what? Like, I feel like a crack, even just crack baby as a reference, I feel is also really dated. Like, do people still say crack baby anymore?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I don't care what
we say it in healthcare.
We say it in social services.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, like literally the kids be calling other kids crack babies and stuff. And it's after too.
All right. I'm gonna head out, everybody. This was a whole lot of fun.
Thank you so much.
And thank you
Thanks
so much
John,
to our UK contingent sticking around until the wee hours for, I guess, what is a very important episode of this series. Thanks, Amy. Thanks, Megan.
John, you can't leave until we do
size, by the way.
Wait, we have something we have to do. We have to do something. I forget, what was it that we have to do? Wait, it is maybe Happy birthday from all of us to you. Happy birthday. May all your dreams come true. May you have many blessings now and your whole life through. Happy birthday from all of us to you. Hey.
Happy birthday.
And now I'll leave on a big, messy, sloppy happy birthday. Ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Rachel. Happy birthday to you.
And you
My
look like
husband
one
just
too.
his ears were bleeding.
Thank you.
That
That was amazing. Thank you all.
Bye, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow.
Bye, John.
Bye, John.
Bye.
Thank you.
Ironically,